Welcome to the virtual bar that is Old Talk United on the United Hour. Cheers. Today is the day we're going to be doing a lot of drinking today after losing our opening game of the season. Manchester United 1, Brighton 2. I mean, the truth be told, we haven't even scored because it was our own goal.
Yeah.
But in the house with me is the man Greg B and CJ.
You
How you gentlemen doing today?
good? Honestly, yeah, it vexed. But what you gonna do is the first game, even if you win the first game, you don't tell the full season. So it is what it is.
Well, the only people I know that say they're going to win the league after the first game is Arsenal, no.
Fuck.
And the only people I know who they say they're going to get relegated after they lose the first game is
Arsenal.
no. So
It's a strange pendulum when it comes to Arsenal supporters, but whatever.
Yep.
They're in their glee right now because they won their game yesterday and they've seen us lose our first game. So
well, fellas, I mean, yeah, it's all talk and we'll talk in the bar, but it is also a bit of breakdown where we have to talk a little bit about the game. So let's do that quickly and get that out of the way. Impressions. CJ, was your takeaways from the game today?
To be honest, yeah, I feel this is Ten Hag's first learning game. It ought to be it, but it's his first learning game because he technically kind of see what the league is, what kind of monster it is, and please stop playing 4-3-2-1. That don't make no sense, boy. Don't do that. Don't do that now, boy. Like it's not what it is. And you realize Fred and McTominay is not it. So hopefully the back room go tell itself you're going on. Get a DM now. Because I can't do it.
All right. I mean, for some people, I know, Greg, CJ talk about the learning curve, and for some people, they were talking about the late substitutions. They were talking about starting with Fred and Scott. Certain things that, again, they're hoping that Ten Hag would learn from. What were your takeaways from the game today?
now, Chad, I guess you saw from our preview yesterday when I posted my lineup. You can kind of understand now why I wanted certain players in certain positions. Because for me, if I had to pick between the lesser of the two evils as regards like playing Scott or Fred, for me, my money's on Fred because I think he's a bit more technically sound. I wanted Eriksen in the middle because I felt like that would have been a support to Bruno. So he has someone to help him as regards like distribution for the game. I'm not saying that he wasn't up. He was bad wide on the right, but I think that hinders the way that he can really influence a game. So for me, it just wasn't the right fit. Granted, he still put in a decent shift, and I can't be mad at him for that. But like CJ says, I echo his sentiments. I believe that this was a game where he can learn from this. He can understand the nature of the beast that is the Premier League.
Yep. And on top of it, sorry, to cut up, but on top of it, to be fair, Van Gaal kind of lost his first game the same way.
Correct.
Gotta learn.
We don't want to compare Eric to Van Gaal at all. Because nothing in the Van Gaal era was memorable for me. Imagine Manchester United won a FA Cup under Van Gaal, and it's not even memorable. What I remember most about the day we won the FA Cup was literally hearing 45 minutes after that our new manager going to be Jose Mourinho. That's what I remember. Imagine all I know Jesse scored. I don't know who scored the next goal. I don't have any good memories from under Van Gaal other than sideways passing. And for the first time in my history as a United fan, to hear players call a player meeting without no members of the senior staff, which happened under Van Gaal because the players had a problem with the style of football. Right? These are the things I remember when I think
Okay.
about Van Gaal.
If
I
I
don't
if,
even want to
if
hear nothing
this
about
is
Van Gaal.
if I can come to Van Gaal's defense for for a couple of seconds. In his defense, we did have a few memorable games. The game when Juan Mata scored the double at Anfield.
The game when Vardy announced his arrival to the Premier League.
No, that was Leicester. I'm talking about Liverpool.
I know the game. I know the game you're talking about. I just
Yeah.
talking about the memorable times I remember that Van Gaal, which were never good.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, I'm letting you know there were some good times as well too. I mean, he did the double
Marcus
against
too.
Arsenal. I mean,
Marcus
mhm.
Rashford debut season actually was good. Yes.
Well, you see, I was now going to get to that. Martial's goal against Liverpool was under Van Gaal. Yeah,
And let me be real, that FA Cup run was real good because that Everton game was mad.
yeah,
I
it
was
was.
that game, I was vexed. Watch over that.
Yeah.
That game was
Maybe the bad outweighs the good for me, because yes, Rashford and Martial coming onto the scene was very good. That's true. I had to give that props. Even our transfer business in that time was horrible. Falcao, Memphis,
mad. I would like
Schneiderlin.
to argue Schneiderlin could have worked, it's just not that system. Schneiderlin could
It
have
in hindsight, when you look at everything how it transpired, yeah, it was pretty poor. But at the time, you had expectations. You seen Schweinsteiger coming in, you're thinking, all right, this is a guy won World Cup. You know, he was part of the German national team. Memphis, one of the hottest young talents coming out of Holland at the time. You kind of had a certain measure of expectation as regards these players. But like I said, it goes down to just everything just going horribly wrong. The football, the tactics were just bad. So yeah, I get what you're saying where it was bad, but there were some small little nuggets of good moments in between.
Marcus weighing in on the game. He said not enough movement of the ball, no intensity and creativity in the midfield. Need a proper defensive midfielder. Mark, I don't think anybody could argue with you there.
Nah,
Can't argue
nah.
with you there. Mark weighs, boy. We need some rum inside here, boy.
Yeah,
I don't think we
which
have enough alcohol. We need more. We need more.
yeah, because I mean, I looked at the performance today. I didn't get to see the full game, but from what I saw in the first half and then what I saw in the bits of the second half, it's the same Manchester United of last season. That whole Jekyll and Hyde complex. Poor performance in the first half. Second half, we come out looking like we have a sense of purpose, a sense of desire, and I think that's something Ten Hag has to gradually coach out of these players and let them recognize, hey, I want you to be switched off and falling asleep for the first 45, and then the second 45 you decide to wake up. Be switched on at all times, because better teams will humiliate you if you're not prepared for that. And I'm of the belief, like I said, that it's going to gradually take some time for them to get that integrated. But today, it could have been so much better, and I'm not going to make too many excuses. People were performing at the poorest of levels, and we were let down bad.
Yeah, for real, for real, for real. Good afternoon to Jamal in the comments. You recovering from our wedding last night, bro? I ain't go anyway. I still man sleep, and I feeling like I
I
recovering right
feel
now. I
honestly,
feel
I
like
gonna be
I'm
real.
tired.
I gonna be big to big. I feel God punish me because
You
I
feel
went
God coming?
no, I feel God punish me because I went the 6 o'clock church service because I say I'm going to watch the game. Maybe he tell me, look you now, trying to be opportunistic, suffer.
Bro,
I feel like man, and that it don't
I
make
mean,
sense. Why?
yeah, I've just become the biggest gym rat as of late. So I went until like 2 o'clock in the morning in the gym. So
That's good, man. I mean,
yes,
endorphins running through the system.
yeah, and I feel like with that, it kind of took away from me being too frustrated because I was too tired to be frustrated with United today.
Again, I wasn't. I probably was too. I won't. I probably normal because I get a day off on top of a day off. Because Monday I hope. So I tell
You
myself,
know,
let me get
I
my
Sure.
rest.
seen I seen Jamal in the comments talking about McFred was poor. and it took too long to take them off. And I agree. Everybody so far has spoken about the midfield, and I agree. But my biggest disappointment was Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
Let me just read this comment before I jump in on Bruno. Jamal is saying Shaw's crossing never got past the first man. McTominay was rash and trash. Fred could press.
I think he meant couldn't pass to save his life. I think he meant couldn't pass to save his life.
Couldn't pass to save his life. Rashford all of a sudden wants to dribble past everybody. All habits die hard.
Yep.
That's all I could say with all of those. Everything you just said there, all habits die hard. My problem with Bruno Fernandes, he for me had the best opportunity of the game. And if we had scored in the first half, it would have been different. My problem with Bruno is Bruno was playing like he was still in preseason. It's like, hey, look, I'm on free. You know what? Let me try a ball. Let me try a kick on the outside of my foot. Okay, that didn't work. Next time you come down the road, hey, look, I'm on there. Boop. That didn't work. And no kind of... when we came out in the second half, I was wondering, like, wait, we losing the game or we winning the game? The team was running around playing like if we were up 1-0 instead of down 1-0. And, you know, I just... As everybody has said, we saw a lot of the United that we don't like. We saw a lot of the shades of United from last season. There are only two positives I think could come from this. One, Ten Hag really, not just Ten Hag alone, because Richard Arnold.
And John
Murta was in the stands watching the game.
So was Avram Glazer.
I mean, I wouldn't lie. When I saw Avram, I say, well, things real changing at United, but when last we see Avram watching that game live?
He has not been at Old Trafford since, I think, 2013.
But this is what I said. I said, you know, it's not just
9 years, you know. 9 years this man has show up at that stadium. And you're the owner of the stadium, of this club.
And you notice he was in uniform, eh? All of them was wearing the same color shirts and tie and suits. The man wear uniform, he ain't wear nothing different. He wear the standard uniform.
I sorry, if I saw him coming into and I was at security, I was like, no, go man, change that.
So anyway,
you're not coming into Blightway.
The only positives I think could come out of this, one, as people would have said before, Ten Hag would see for himself some of the challenges at United. And two, the other positive is hopefully a little fire is lit under these guys. So they're like, yeah, what's going on? We need to get a striker. We need to get a striker. And we need to get a quality midfielder.
And by the way, as you touched on the whole striker topic, for those who don't know, apparently Manchester United made a 8 million bid for Marko Arnautovic.
I wonder if people tell me in the comments, you all remember Arnautovic from when he was in the Premier League? I think he was with West Ham, not so?
No, Stoke.
Stoke, yeah. You all remember? You all remember that player? He's 33 years old now.
To me, he's a B-Tech Zlatan. He's a B-Tech Zlatan.
Kind.
Bro, he basically has the same kind of powerful shot, same kind of ego, but not as clinical. He can finish. When he's on his day, he can finish. But
Jamal remembers him. Jamal says that Marko is a real fighter. Yeah.
That's the thing. But and the thing is, I remember him even before that, because he used to play for Inter Milan as well too. But he was very temperamental. He fell out with a lot of managers because of that. So,
well, from my understanding, we made a $8 million bid and the bid was rejected. So I don't know if we're gonna up the bid or if we're gonna focus more on Sesko. I don't know. But clearly coming out of this game, I don't know about you guys, but I expect to see at least one transfer this week, possibly two, before Manchester United next game. Because outside of transfers, I cannot see anything lifting up the fan base. Jamal is saying that the club he's with willing to take 10 million, 2 million more.
Yo,
That's
is
something
that
like
really is that
that's
really
something
gonna
like
hurt the Glazers'
a done
pocket?
deal.
Yeah, does that really gonna hurt the Glazers' pocket in any form or fashion? Come
Boy,
on, let's be very honest.
Abraham put she had in the pocket to get your wallet and small change fall out and they could get that 2 million, yes. And fellas, 2 million is small change for them, boy. 2 million
That's
is
what
2
I'm
million.
saying. It's like they won't miss that in the slightest.
I like Mark Commando. We don't want no fighter. We need a finisher.
That's true.
Yeah, but
Anybody had challenges with Ronaldo starting on the bench for the game?
no.
Not really.
For,
Neither did I.
for me, that sends the right message amongst the squad that just because you're a superstar, it does not mean that you can just find your way and walk into this team as you feel like it. Yes, people will make an argument that say, "Oh, if he had started, we probably would have won the game." And who knows if we had started, we probably would have lost more.
We have no idea. We can't say that.
Yeah,
There's
because
nothing I saw that gave me the impression that if Ronaldo was on the pitch, how much chances we created in the first half? We created a lot more chances in the second half than the first half. So there's
and mind
nothing to
and just to give people a quick reminder as well too, the game last season when we played them at the Amex, when Brighton beat us 4, Ronaldo started. So if you dare make that statement, think back to that before you talk. And Chad is gone. Okay. So we you know, there's always going to be something here with technical difficulties here at the United Hour. We're going to see if we can get that sorted. President Chad is just having a few issues, but he'll be back with us soon. CJ, I just out watching that whole situation, and I'm thinking to myself, what happened? Why? What did we do in preseason? Why do we have preseason in the first place? Because to me, it looks as if these guys just completely just threw out the book when it came to what Ten Hag was teaching them at some point. Like I said, it's going to take a while for them to get into it, but you would figure there'd be some basics, some fundamentals that would stick with these guys.
Now, what I could see with the new transfers, what people wanted from Lisandro, and you can't say Malacia because Malacia didn't play enough, so no, you can't get out. But the thing was with the new transfers, and for some of them, I would say is that is a different setting, is the season, is at Old Trafford, so I get that they would feel some kind of way, but everybody else, I feel like everybody else doesn't have an excuse because Scott has been playing in the league how long now? How long
This is I think this is his 7th season.
Yeah, 7 season. Fred knows what it is. Since Mourinho days, he knew what it is. How is it that you can't know? You cannot get it together. I mean, y'all played opening games already. Y'all know the pressure. Y'all know what it is. And the thing is, even Lissandro, even when he was nervous, man started to come in the game as time went because he just needed time to play his football.
Yeah.
And let's be real. Although Dalot was brought out of position a lot, he still created chances, he still fought, and he still got the ball back. So for me, it's like it there's really not much of an excuse unless you're now playing in the league, but at the same time, it was a side that was familiar about everything. Even when Donny came on, Donny was running. You started to see more chances. I think Rashford disappointed me the most because he had real chances to bury the game.
And I think that's one aspect of the game that our game that we really need to focus on because it's like the front line seems to not be able to know how to finish if certain personnel are not on the team, are not on the pitch. Why is it that because Martial's not there, that the whole structure, the whole cohesion has to be affected by that?
When I learn, it's like
I wanna. Sorry, that's DJ.
Good.
I wanna switch gears a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because it had more than enough things to complain about. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about some positives, if there are any. Because I for me, I have to agree with Jamal. Martinez looked like a hell of a player.
Yeah, definitely. Martinez got into that team, got into that game, and it seemed seamless. The way that he was able to fit into his position, the way he was able to be composed and pass out to the back, it was it was clearly somebody who knew what he wanted to do. Because remember, this is a system that he's accustomed playing under Eric Ten Hag. So his composure and his calmness and ability to play out from the back is pivotal for this team going forward.
And and that's the only positive I could think of. That positivity run was real short.
Yeah, well. I mean, but like I said, I also have to give Christian Eriksen credit as well too, because I mean,
Yeah, boy.
he also played well for me. I think he had a very decent game.
I don't consider Eriksen played well, yes. But when I think about Eriksen, I don't think I'm positive, and I'll tell you why. Eriksen is one of the few players I don't ever think we should ever have to play for 90 minutes. And I don't think Ten Hag intended to play Eriksen for 90 minutes. But because of the circumstances of the game, you need that creativity on the pitch. So he left Eriksen on. Bruno wasn't saying nothing. So he left Eriksen on. But that just shows you that we start off the game and the few good players, the few clinical players, and when I say good, I don't mean in the context of the team. I mean in the context of the game. Right? The few clinical players on the day, they had to bear the weight. They had to carry the rest of the team. And it's too early in the season for that, man. Eriksen, come on. We didn't buy Eriksen to be running 90 minutes. I'm sorry. Yeah, we buy him to play. And we expect him to play often. I expect him to play often, but we didn't buy him to be running 90 minutes.
Yeah, but Chad, it also shows the gulf in class in between the players that we have. Because, I mean, you look at those players, who of them have, outside of probably Bruno and Donny, who else that can play centrally has that vision to pick out a pass the way that Christian Eriksen can do it?
I agree. I can't argue with that. That's true.
Yeah. Which is all the more reason why I felt like his best attributes weren't being served with him playing out wide on the right. He didn't have a bad game out there, but for me, his efficiency is better when he plays as a deeper lying player or as a 10.
Stuart is saying Ten Hag's biggest mistake to date, in his opinion, is making Harry Maguire the club captain. Well,
why is this becoming an issue all of a sudden? I mean, did Maguire have such a poor game that he was?
I don't think it have anything to do with the game. The man said the biggest mistake to date. So since he make him the captain till now, that is just, and I know there are a lot of people that have a problem with that. The amount of hate that Harry gets on social media, there are a lot of people that have a problem with that, and he lacks leadership qualities, and that's true. But Stuart, tell me who you would like to see captain in this present bunch of players, because I think the challenge for me is that I don't particularly like Harry as a captain either, but nobody has put themselves head and shoulders above the rest.
Exactly.
To say that they have taken leadership of this team. Bruno Fernandes was looking like a good captain for a year and some months.
A few months, yeah.
And then Ronaldo came and suddenly Bruno looking like a shell of himself, and he is not distinguished himself last season as captain material. So
because let's face fact, the people that you could pick to be probably captains are either underperforming, injured, or just never readily available altogether. So it's like you kind of look at it. You look at the people who you want to have. Like you said, Bruno has not looked the same since Ronaldo's been here. De Gea has had calamity after calamity. If everybody remembers that he was the captain for the 1920 season at one point, and he had some horrendous errors. That's how Maguire ended up with the armband in the first place, because he was the only one that showed a semblance of stability. People don't like it, but it's the truth.
Yeah, well, Stuart is saying that he would prefer David De Gea.
Yeah, and then when he fumbles a ball into the back of the net, we go. What are we gonna say then?
Well, I mean, I from the point of view of seniority, I would not have been upset if he had chosen Davide, right? Because everybody else, that there's nobody that stands out as far as being a leader. David has actually become more vocal over the past year
Well, he
than he
needed to
was
be.
before. But you know,
He needed to be because Dean Henderson was basically breathing down his neck at one point. So he needed to show some sort of a backbone. He wasn't getting comfortable in that situation.
so Jamal is saying he was expecting Malaysia to start, bro, after that game today. It wouldn't surprise me if Malaysia starts the next game. You're expecting Shaw and Garnacho off the left, Rashford through the middle. Considering Martial was out, was also thinking Ericsson would play deeper next to Fred or Ghana. Boy, you was expecting Ten Hag to send out Garnacho and Ghana in the starting 11.
Nah, I wasn't seeing that. Garnacho maybe, not Ghana.
Nah, Ghana will not start, man.
Because remember, that was my lineup. Remember when we did the preview? That was my lineup. I had Garnacho, I believe, on the right side. I had Sancho on the left, and I had Rashford to the middle. And I had Ericsson, Bruno, and Fred in the middle.
Correct is right. My biggest disappointment from Ten Hag was not the starting 11 because these are senior players. As much as we can't stand McFred has been more or less the consistent midfield pairing for over 3 seasons now.
Unfortunately.
And it is normal for you to want to start your first game a little conservative. You know? So I don't blame him for the starting 11. But you see the late subs.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I think if you're gonna, one of the things I'm looking out for under Ten Hag is in match changes in the game, because I've heard a lot about his ability to change the game, right? Whether it's through changing formation, changing personnel, he recognizes what is going on the pitch and has that ability to change the game. And so I was looking for something creative from that perspective.
Right.
And it didn't materialize. So I was a little disappointed with that. But all of that being said, we have to recognize this is a work in progress. And I don't want the fan base. I'm already seeing men melting down into toxicity and negativity. Let's be real.
Mark Wahlberg.
Let's be real. We should not
We don't claim mans.
expect this team to just turn around after 4.5 games in the preseason
And do everything. And do everything right.
right? We need to be reasonable in our expectations. Everybody says Ten Hag needed time. When Ten Hag first came, everybody was saying he needed time. You can't be jumping down the man's throat after one loss. You know what I'm saying? You just cannot.
It's not practical.
He still need time.
And I'm sorry to say this, but even if we won, even if we played really well, the same fans would still say, well, we start the season without winning anyway and it end up into shit. So to be very honest, you kind of have to beat yourself, because at the end of the day, let's be very real, let's be funny to me, in our bad results, everybody does remember is the first game of the season, but a good result, proper. You starting off the season on the right track. Bro, you can start the season good or bad, is what you do consistently.
That's it.
I mean, and to be fair, nobody really looked in as themselves for this whole game week. Liverpool draw, Chelsea barely won. And what does that say? Okay, at least we get a point. Okay, it's that
something. I remember last year, Arsenal lost 3 games on the trot. And at the end of the season, they finished above us. So with that in mind, it's not how you start, it's how you
If how
I
you
think
finish.
you just correctly said what kind of consistency levels you hit and how you finish. And so I don't think we need to, we shouldn't be stressing ourselves out. I'm not stressing myself out. I'm not going down
You
the
can't.
road of negativity. The world is coming to an end. I don't think the performance was poor, but there's no reason for us to run around like, the world coming to an end.
It's easy to just find a reason to just have this kind of unnecessary panic, but at what cost is that for? Because at the end of the day, results could turn around. We could go on a decent run, and then what are you going to say then? This Brighton loss could become a distant memory, especially if we win any silverware.
Boy, the thing I just say is some of these supporters, I really wish you could clip them. I doesn't have the time and the energy to take screenshots of men negativity.
Clip. And I just go and say like this. I find it very funny. Mendes be when we win, Mendes be real quiet and want to humble it down. But when we lose, real loud. Real loud. You are real energy. And it's like I feel it's like all it is want all the egos to be massaged. So if we lose, it could be like, I was right. And that makes no kind of sense. What is wrong? You know what's bothering me? What wrong with being hopeful? What wrong with having a good positive vibe about a game? What wrong in that?
When did optimism become a crime? When did optimism become a crime in this place?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's your team you're supporting. Why you want to be negative about your team? Be negative about somebody else's team, not yours.
Like, for example, you think it wild for me for Arsenal fans to be like, let the season go, because they know they want to watch the football. They're hopeful about it. We just make a joke, but I would be very. It wouldn't be wrong for Arsenal, man, to say let me go Arsenal. It's like, okay, that's the team. And you know what does make me realize that it could be worse or it's not the end of the world. You ever realize men when you watch documentaries and watch shows where men who from Scunthorpe or Wycombe or fellas from Watford who were chasing the top promotion, as be like, yo, they've seen the worst, they've seen relegation, they've seen promotion, and they're still there, very optimistic, back in the side publicly. So I want to know.
A more popular example is Leeds. Look at how long it took them to get back into the Premier League. They were relegated in 2004. It took them 17 years to get back into the Premier League. So it goes to show that there will be highs, there will be lows in every instance with every football team and with every fan base. You just can't allow the negativity to swallow you up so much that you have to try and walk around like the post-up shelf depression because your team losing. That's not healthy.
I tell people very much you cannot. If every result affect you like that, then your mental health not really that strong as you think, because I just saying because like you mean to tell me for the whole day of football, well, the man don't want to talk in the group, man don't want to say nothing, the whole day is ruined. But I don't think so now.
Nah.
Imagine
them fellas get home. Imagine them fellas get home.
I am so excited to have football back that I really not even that upset. I was missing Premier League football so much. And the truth be told, the unpredictability of the Premier League has been back. Look at how Liverpool struggled. Look at Haaland coming in today and scoring a double and delivering. There's just so many other talking points. There's so much other stuff going on. You can't let Manchester United spoil the weekend, man.
I'm not that again. Trust me.
Having a decent week in fantasy, so there's no reason to be sad.
Yep. I try to think wise. All I could say is Jadon Sancho on the bench. It didn't work. I thought I'd be regretted it, but I was like, all right, silver lining, yes. See what?
Maybe I don't know. I ain't ready to jump back into fantasy because I've been burned too many times in the past. Maybe next season.
Yeah, But at the same time, though, when I don't understand, it's a process. You're not going to get perfect one time.
Yeah, of course.
I think the tinkerer Van Hal being the think Van Hal Ten Hag being the tinkerer, he's going to see this game. He definitely go and talk to men. Like be real, he go and talk to fellas.
Hmm.
He's gonna talk to fellas. He go and let them know here going on. I can't have that kind of game going on today,
Yeah.
or you show me something, and you ain't about to sell me many dreams.
Yeah.
I gonna be real with you.
Because I mean, even he took a very realistic approach to it during the press conference when he was asked, if today's results shows the need for reinforcements. He plainly, outrightly said, the players that we have available to us could have done better today. So in his mind, he understands that he knows that the quality is not there, but at the same time, he knows a lot of players are playing within themselves. He knows a lot of players are playing below the standards that they are capable of. So
And the truth is, we have to step up against Brentford because the next game is Liverpool.
mm-hmm.
We have to start. We have to shift. We have to get some kind of momentum heading into that Liverpool clash.
Yeah.
And a draw is no momentum. You understand what I'm saying? We've got to go and beat Brighton, and we know Brighton is now no pushover side.
Oh, Brentford.
Brentford. We just lost to Brighton. Yeah, we gotta go and play Brentford with some aggression.
And on top of that too, on top of I think he told them that he said we need momentum because our next game is Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
We need the momentum, so I need to see something, and I feel he will make changes because I think from the second half when he saw what Donny and these men were doing, he probably going to tell himself, all right, I probably play a little bit too reserved, so I'm going to try to see what I can do. And I feel Brentford going to be the next game where he fights it.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing to lose,
Yeah.
There's nothing to lose when some of these senior players disappoint you and show you their inconsistency. There is nothing to lose in just saying, yeah, what? Let's go with another cast. Let's see if
Sometimes it's just a matter of just switching the personnel that you have available to you, trying something different, experimenting and understanding your personnel. And eventually knowing, okay, you know what, I can use this person instead of this to make the system flow more efficiently. So it is what it is.
For sure. Um, so are you all optimistic like I am that we'll see some movement in the transfer window this week?
I personally believe we will because we know that we need players to come in, and
Yep.
I know Ten Hag is probably he's probably showing the board like, yo, this is I need some reinforcement here, seriously.
CJ?
Honestly, I feel maybe I bet too, and I remember Mendes confused, rational, delusional. I don't know, but I see it like this. Let's be very honest. You don't think that this wouldn't make United a bit concerned transfer wise because they're seeing how things going. They're seeing that the defensive midfield wasn't good. I mean, I'm not saying it could happen, Again, I don't deal in absolute like it's going to absolutely happen. I just say, hey, anything can happen. But I wouldn't really be surprised if United try a thing, or if they get a little desperate. If they get a little desperate, I wouldn't be surprised if we buy some men and get something. And because the Benjamin Sesko deal, they're probably telling themselves, oh, we will. How things looking, we had to really get our 50 million. And people, I might go say, well, back to the old United ways. And well, not really, because they get 3 transfers that were very clear. I think now in transfer market, what we have learned is that we need to do what we need to do. How to say? I think what we learn from the transfer market is that we prove to ourselves that we can't get robbed, but we need to work faster. It's an improvement. Like it's not 100% good, but you got improvements in one end, but you need to improve on the next end. Is what I'm saying. So for this,
And I think,
I feel we should, if we have to go for an attacker, if they want the 50 million for Sesko, If United had to take that L because they tell themselves, all right, let me avoid this L, let me do the Sesko deal, and on top of it, get the DM position. I feel with Frankie with the Dijon case, you can tell yourself, you know what, this looking like a little burn situation. Let me talk to our next defensive midfielder and see if I can get him on board before this week finish. And that is all you have to do. And
And I believe it's a kind of an understanding where they know that they want to get certain players to fit the system that Hag is trying to play. So I can kind of understand why he's played so many things so close to the chest. But at the same time, we have to recognize we don't have much time left to bring in players when it comes to wanting the targets that he may want, because other clubs are watching the players that we have targeted. So we have to act fast, and we have to act very fast, especially if we know that we want to compete on different fronts. We're going to need the depth. We're going to need the quality in that depth. So the De Jongs and the Seskos and anybody else that may be rumored to head our way that could be on Ten Hag shortlist.
Yep.
Muton and all have to recognize, okay, if we don't want a repeat of what happened today, get them fellas in there.
Yep. That is all.
Darren, the question we asking is due to the loss. Do you think that we're gonna see some movement in the transfer window? Do you think the team is gonna be a little more aggressive this week to give Ten Hag some reinforcements? Because clearly a number of people wasn't up to it today.
But that'll be wise. I don't think any team that want to compete would see what went on today and not hasten the steps in getting more players in after openly admitting that they need players. If they don't, then we clearly see the intent of the club from the executive level, you know. So I think that's a given. And I mean, with the board that we have, it leaves much to be desired, but let me see what go on. But yes, the club, United as the club, not the management, but as the executive, they should try to get more players in.
So you think we'll jump out the 50 for Sesko?
I don't know I'm not sure based on history. This could be our first start, but based on the history that the club has and the pattern that they have created for us, the fans, I don't think they would jump out 50 million for a player that they had a problem just 3 years ago to spend 3 million on. Because they had an opportunity to sign him for 3 million 3 years ago. So to spend 50 on him now, we kind of wild, you know. And I think based on a pattern as well, we would panic buy clearly with the Arnautovic rumor. The fact that even considering
it wasn't a rumor, bro. We made a bid of £8.5 million,
and it was rejected.
And the bid was rejected.
Bologna won double digits. They were 10.
If they had accepted that bid before the end of the game, we would be hearing that Manchester United sign a new player.
Don't be surprised if that deal don't get complete probably by tomorrow morning himself.
Yeah, we desperately need a striker though. Like seriously. Out and out pure poaching striker. A man who could make them runs, a man who could finish. Because look at the game, like finishing is what failed us. Let me be real. Bruno. All he had was just place it in the right. Finishing is what failed us. We developing plays, we just finishing.
The composure is something that has been lacking with this team within the last year and a half, because there have been so many chances that you tell yourself, anybody here on this panel could put away in their sleep. And yet, for some strange reason, paid professional athletes are throwing away these chances.
Rashford especially. Because he was supposed to have 2, I think. Yep, he was supposed to have 2.
Yeah, I called 2-0. We could have probably won this game maybe 4-0 or something like that if we were more careful.
Yeah, because the passes, it was the finishing, because the final 2 passes weren't bad. There are low chances. It needed somebody in the box there to get them chances, boy. Jeez.
Yeah, just finishing the ball reaching in right in the mouth of the goal is just to put it in. Yeah. So and the next thing though, Defensively, Shaw is not it. We conceded.
Darren, what did you say about Shaw and shit?
Shaw is not it. He is not it. He shouldn't be starting. Shaw is not it. And if you want to put it together, you will make one song. You could go with that and all too.
The shouting shuffle from the Veric.
Like, seriously.
If anybody remembers that from Sesame Street, if you know, you know.
Shaw run down the line with the man and did nothing to stop the man from putting the ball in the mouth of the goal.
Here's my thing. Why is Pascal Gross? Why is Pascal Gross so open on that side?
Not only him and Danny and all. Danny Welbeck wasn't even supposed to be so open. And the thing is, Danny Welbeck didn't really make any intricate running. No, he was just there.
He was just darting across the box.
Welbeck could play the ball back in the path of Gross.
Yeah.
We conceded 2 of the same type of goals. 2 are the same goal. So therefore, it's not learning on the job. Like,
and that's my whole thing. It's like, why we let these kind of balls just pass through our box just like that? Nobody in that back four had the awareness to say, okay, this is a pass coming across our box. Let me intercept.
Yeah, I don't know. Something. And if it's the players, it can't be the managers. Managers keep changing. The only constant is the players.
Let's keep it real. We understand that Dalot's not the best man marking defender. We all know that. He's terrible at man marking. If anybody remembers from the Champions League against Villarreal, Danjuma turned the man inside out. Maguire has, I don't know, the man IQ like a drop in every second. I don't know what's going on with him sometimes.
Nah, man, Greg. Maguire
don't do that. That's a go-to. That's just a go-to with the fan base.
I get that, but I know in itself. I know today in itself he wasn't at fault. So it's like I ain't gonna really be too harsh on him.
For me, to say I don't want to be hard on the man because for this game there was more aggression. The man wasn't getting beat that much.
Yeah.
And to be fair, you see the improvements. I think it's certain men like Shaw and men like Dalo.
The full backs letting know that defense a lot. Let's be very honest.
Dalo making some real simple mistakes like, yo, what you doing?
This is especially why I wanted Malacia to start on the left side, because I believe if Malacia was playing on that side, there would have been a bit more awareness in the defense on that aspect. And
on top of it, the defense, you work hard in Fred and McTominay. When you don't have a midfield that helping you, your defense is going to be very much confused and constantly having to work.
No,
so it's really
you're gonna look abject. You're gonna look very abject in the middle of that part.
Because
and it goes back to why I said I wanted Eriksen in the middle, because at least you have somebody who could help construct a play going forward.
Yep, and on top of that too, if you watch it good, the ball Maguire would usually lose to. The man didn't lose to it, like the man. No. I watched my boy run with some speed. I tell myself, hey, good on you, man. So I ain't gonna even blame him for that. For us to blame Maguire, you had to be wicked to yourself. He didn't have a terrible game.
Maguire,
you had to be looking for likes.
Yeah, people that's kind of underestimate. Maguire's not the quickest player on the pitch, yeah, but he's not that slow either. I've seen this guy catch Raheem Sterling.
Exactly, and on top of it, so I feel the next positive you could say is that Maguire has some sort of confidence in the back line, and I feel like God forbid, I feel like if you put Malacia instead of Shaw, you would see certain intelligence, because Malacia is an intelligent player.
That's what's supposed to happen. That's not called forbid.
Shaw
is not it.
That's like President Chad Baker's point. That's like President Chad Baker's point.
I agree that I would like to see Malacia start as well, because not only I think that would also put pressure on Shaw.
Yep.
But when Malacia came on and we were struggling to get the ball and he fouled the Brighton player by the end of our box, I didn't consider that very intelligent. I was like, come on, you know these fellas running long time. Why are you fouling this guy? Clearly that was a foul. He wasn't getting the ball, you know? But is one play, he now run off the bench. He wasn't up to speed of the game. So I'm not donging on Malacia. All I'm saying is all the players had a really up the game because apart from Martinez and Ericsson, nobody ain't look good.
You know what the
Yeah.
funny thing is, though, Chad? If Malacia was marking, I can't remember who's the player that played the ball in. That Shaw and Bruno couldn't stop. If Malacia was on the pitch, I'm pretty certain that ball would have never go across the face of the pitch.
I wonder if that was Trossard.
Probably Trossard.
I think it was
Yeah.
Trossard.
Listen, Shaw literally marking the man and stepping off the man. Up to now, Shaw making an attempt to stop the man completely. He just escorting him. Same thing we complained about 2-3 seasons now.
It's like Luke tried to channel his inner Trent for some godforsaken reason.
He had to tackle the man. I mean, Malacia, come on, he fouled the man. Okay, that's part and parcel of the game.
At least he put in that tackle.
Yes, come on.
On top of it, I remember seeing men say Lissandro crazy, but it's not that the man crazy, dog. If constantly the man getting exposed and the man trying and fighting, it must happen.
Exactly.
You know what killed me?
Yeah, he made some good stops on all too.
And you know what killed me after men calling him Rojo? After that, my boy game just went up. So this man cuts him back from this man dribbling out of positions. And I tell myself, the man just needs to get into the game, and I think he need more cover. And for me personally, as Darren, I think Darren at times say, I wouldn't mind seeing him in DM one game. I wouldn't mind seeing him in defensive mid one game. It wouldn't be bad because at this point, you have nothing to lose. Best experiment and see what happens. Crazy enough. That man might be a defensive mid answer and you wouldn't know. So for me, I think, especially with certain players, you have to understand that you gotta give it a pinch of salt that men now feeling out the process.
If we go in and play Martinez as a CDM, it's best we play our three in the back. Play him with two other defenders and play the team around build three in the back. Because
if you had to pick an ideal back three, who would you have?
Yeah.
I'll have to say Martinez, Maguire, and Lindelof.
Lindelof not bad.
I know a lot of people love Varane, but
Myself
the best
being one of
version
them.
of Varane was when he was playing with at Real Madrid
with Sergio Ramos.
With Sergio Ramos. I remember times in Real Madrid where Varane was sucking bench. You know, Varane needs a certain quality next to him. Now, don't get me wrong. Martinez might be that level of quality. But based on what I see in preseason, what I've seen so far, I will pick Lindelof as our third defender.
We just need that creative outlet. That man that keep the team ticking. That man who could spread the ball. That man with intelligence in the middle of the park. We have two physical beings in the middle of the park that brainless. Sorry to say, physical beings, but they don't have no brain. So we will continuously be in this problem once that is the situation that we facing. Sorry. So because listen, McTominay is just muscle, and Fred good with that interception, he good with pressing, but when he get the ball, he's not the most intelligent to make a defense splitting pass. He does it from time to time. We need a man who we know does it like clockwork. We need that man consistency. So that is one of our biggest problems. Biggest problems. But
Guys,
I was mentioning to you, sorry, one more thing, Chad. I was mentioning to you earlier on today. Ericsson has played in that role for Inter. I don't see why they can't give him a try in that role with us, you know, with Fred next to him as a destroyer.
Right now, especially playing teams like any team that finish 8 and below, I don't see any reason why we can't try that too. Yes,
Yeah,
seriously.
Fred and Erickson. Fred gonna be the destroyer, intercepting, and as soon as he get the ball, just give it to Erickson. Look for Erickson. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And let Erickson control the pace of the game.
They make sense. They make sense.
What I was going to say is that this afternoon at 6 o'clock, we're gonna be launching a brand new show called EPL Rewind, where we're gonna be going over all of the games on the weekend. We're gonna pick out the most significant 3 games, and focus on those where we're gonna go run through all the scores, the scorers, and just talk about Premier League, and that's something we're gonna be doing every Sunday, a brand new show on the United Hour. So look out for that at 6 p.m. Gentlemen, is getting around that time where they're looking at throw us out the bar. I don't know. I feel like
And rain falling outside there, they all get cold.
I feel like I was in the wedding with Mark, because I feel in real tired and I don't know why. You understand? So talk to me, guys. What you all have to see on the rundown? Tell the people something positive for them to leave the show with.
Listen,
It's a process.
that's the same thing I was going to say, just with a little more words. The two
It's a
dominant
process.
teams, when their managers first came to the club, they didn't finish. They didn't start off guns blazing. Klopp finished his very first season 8th. Pep finished that season 3rd and trophyless. So it's our process. We had to trust the process. It's just the first game. The season might be we might be in for a rocky, shaky season, but we had to trust the process. We had to allow the man to weed out. Because we still didn't weed out all the bad players and get in the right players yet. So it's our process. Take
I
all the
like
time.
that word. I'm going to take that word for the whole week.
I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna sum everything up here in one word. It's patience, because we have to not expect everything to go right immediately.
Correct.
So if that's gonna be hard for a lot of people, especially if you're a Manchester United fan and you want success, then I suggest you probably stay away from this season, because nothing is going to be guaranteed that Ten Hag's gonna get everything right in one shot. Because this Brighton game, if people are just hanging and saying, "Oh, if he loses against Brighton, he's not good enough," what manager can you judge and say is good enough after one game?
But what I see is
Regardless of the outcome, whether you win or you lose, what manager you could judge after one game?
but what I see in
If that was the case, then Klopp should have been sacked. Wenger, who should have been sacked years ago. Sir Alex Sano should have been sacked, because all of them lost their first games in charge and have taken over.
But what I seen is, right, if suppose that men had low expectations, right, and today lost, why are you still complaining about certain things? I mean, my thing is this: you knew what it was. I think Eric knew what he was signing in. He wouldn't have put he wouldn't have put a release clause if he didn't get certain things and you see certain things going his way. He wouldn't have put that in his contract if he didn't know certain things was going on to happen. He's a smart man. Why all of a sudden now them watching and saying, well, me know what's going on with Eric, What going on is the man learn the league. The man learn the league. The man
It's
learn
first game.
the first game. Men talking about what was going on in preseason. Dan, preseason, it has no kind of pressure.
Yeah.
None. There's no pressure. You could have a perfect preseason. Spurs does win trophies in the preseason. What are you telling me? Me and Bob might come on social media about
things like this can be considered baptisms of fire for anybody who's now starting off in a job. So it's all a matter of him learning from that, and also being able to pick up from those things and picking out the positives. Robert's asking, did anything change, or did they just forget everything Ten Hag taught them? I asked this question because in my mind it's like, what do we have preseason for?
Correct. They started off looking like the application of what was being taught was being applied, and then in the middle to the end of the first half, everything just I like how the first is a lack of concentration. What it is? What going on?
I
You
feel,
know?
and I
But the way I look at it too is that some of these players are still in the mind frame of what they were dealing with under Ole and Ralph. So it's going to take some time for those bad habits to be coached out of them. So
So
not everybody's going to.
We say that PTSD.
There could be.
So,
For all we know, Shaw still traumatized from last season after Salah and them run riot on him. Hey,
we're
anyhow.
gonna shut it down. Remember, 6 p.m. to this evening, we're gonna be doing the EPL rewind. We're gonna be checking out all the games over the weekend, condensed into 1 hour or less. So definitely look out for that. Thanks to the man Greg B, CJ, and Darren, you know, you had to buy the last rounds on the way out. So you come late. I will the last man that had to buy the last round.
Well, you know
So
when
remember, Red
Bartax.
Devils don't die. We multiply.
Hello, I am Sir Philip Graves, former Deputy Prime Minister and Acting Governor General of Barbados, and you are tuned in to the United Hour.